Hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In today's video I'd like to have a look at how the USE minis, in particular the ES, unfolded yesterday, which would have actually been Friday the 15th of August. I want to follow up on this particularly because we were looking at these setups in our live customer trading webinar last Friday. Initially with our STF there wouldn't have been many trade setups because this one would have been against the blue STF. This would have been against a red STF, and so would have this one. But this is why we teach our customers to move to our higher time frame charts, to use our DPs and WPTs on the higher time frame, because these are leading indicators. They're on the chart there in advance. So let me show you what I mean and how to do this. We just go to the higher time frame chart. So from a 3-minute chart we go up to the higher time frame, which is the 15-minute. Now what we do is we go back to prior swing pivots. You can see our software connects the pivots for you. So in our trading webinar we came back to this pivot here after the market had opened, to this pivot down here. We went right mouse click, place that level on, and that was on the chart in advance. That's important to understand, that it was there before the market even got there. It's a leading indicator. So let's see what happened on this one if we go back to the 3-minute chart. And initially the market was declining down. It came into this area here and started to rally up. So what we were saying at the time in our webinar, again this was live last Friday, is that this TS1 sell was probably against this 15-minute support zone and therefore was not a good one to take. Obviously this turned out as a good trade, and if you were an aggressive MTPredictor customer, what we normally suggest to do is, if you do like to take trades like this that are more aggressive, once you get to the 100% initial risk level, you bring your stop to break even, and that would allow that trade to be taken and then come out at the profit target at the bottom. But that's not what I really want to look at today. What I want to look at is what happened when the market went through this 15-minute support zone again at this point here. Well, we go back to the 15-minute chart. We come back to the next important pivot low, and it looks like there was a really important pivot low there after that choppy consolidation period. Again, these are on the chart in advance. You'd have gone back to this pivot low, right mouse click, put the support level on. Again, understand that this support level would have been on this chart before the market got there. So let's see what happened now. If we go back to the chart now, can you see how the market, after going through this first support zone, came in and then reversed right at that second level? There it is there. So what I'll do is I'll take that first one off so it doesn't confuse us. So what does this mean for MTPredictor customers? Well, because we now had an automatic buy setup on our 3-minute chart, but more importantly it was unfolding at 15-minute support zone, in other words a higher time frame support, the more experienced MTPredictor customers could have then taken this trade. So if we now do analysis, that means that would have been your trade setup, that would have been your target for a potential 4.1 hour profit. Our position sizing is taken care of here as well, and as you can see that means that you would have been buying on a trade setup that unfolded right at the very bar of the low of the day, so an absolutely perfect place to initiate a long trade. The market was, well, within a fraction of that first target. If we actually look at the price at that level, if I just pull that in here, the price of that bar there, the high, would have been at 53.25, and our level would have been 53.50. Normally we suggest placing your MIT orders 1 tick below, but let's say you didn't get filled. You'd have then held that into the close, so you'd have been stopped out for a potential 3.8 hour profit. So a very, very nice trade there indeed. But not only that, you also had another opportunity here to add or pyramid to this position. So let's see what this would have actually been. Well, because this was major support, this would be in the initial rally. In Elliott wave terms, we'd consider this a wave 1. This correction here would be our first correction, unfolding as an ABC. So in Elliott wave terms, this would be a wave 2. If we place the analysis on, we're therefore going for what we call a holy grail trade setup, and we'll be looking to try and catch a rally up into the typical wave 3 WPT, and obviously that didn't unfold, but again you'd have come out on close, and on close you'd have had a very nice 5.1 hour profit. So combine that with the 3.8 hour from earlier. So if I just do the quick maths on my calculator here, 3.8 plus 5.1, that would have been 8.9 hour profit. So a very, very, very good trading day. But can you see how this is all stemmed because of our 15-minute support zone, which we had here on our chart in advance, and can you see how that nailed the very low of the day for you? So it gave you a buying opportunity of that automatic setup as of the bar of the low of the day, and gave you a very nice pyramiding opportunity there as well. Was that the only opportunity? No, it wasn't, because if we look at the YM, on the YM we had exactly the same. There was our 15-minute support zone, catching the low of the day there. There was our TS3 buy setup into its first target there for 5.5 hour profit. If you had held it hoping that you were going to go up to the typical wave 3 WPT, it would have been a nice 3.9 hour profit as well. Also, if I go back to the ES, sorry, I should have highlighted this earlier, this particular setup here was actually what we call a VSA setup as well. In other words, if I put the cursor on, this bar here, which was the 1154 bar, was actually indicating our VSA setup on our volume bar, which is down here. In other words, this bar going down through this prior pivot low had higher than normal volume. The next bar reversed, but it reversed at our DP support zone. In other words, that indicated that this volume here was not selling, it was actually buying, and therefore the market was likely to reverse and make a big rally. And that's exactly what happened. So you had an extra confirmation of that particular buy setup there. So hopefully that's a really good example of how we use the tools in MTPredictor, particularly the more experienced customers, and how we take you to higher levels. And what a great example, you'll be able to catch a buy setup there that nailed the very low of the day, and also a very great pyramiding opportunity, both of which together would have made a profit of almost 9R, 8.9R return for the day. So some very, very good trading, and so it turned out to be a very good day for MTPredictor on the USE minis, particularly the ES on Friday.